Coping with COVID, updates on the pandemic and information to help you thrive and survive COVID-19. It's brought to you by the South Carolina Department of Health and Environmental Control. Visit scdheck.gov for an updated list of testing sites and important information on how to protect yourself, your family, and friends from the coronavirus. SCDHEC, healthy people, healthy communities. In it together and the South Carolina Diabetes Advisory Council, presenting Wellness Wednesday every Wednesday on Coping with COVID. The City of Columbia Office of Business Opportunities, helping to meet the needs of small, minority, and women-owned businesses in the City of Columbia. Log on to columbiasc.net/OBO. Agape Counseling and Training Services. Call 803-779-2777 for licensed professionals of counselors and social workers helping families, engaged and married couples, and individuals of all ages gain an understanding of all aspects of their lives. If you're having a challenge coping with COVID, contact Agape Counseling and Training Services at agapects.com. And Palmetto Media Connections, connecting media and communities together. Coping with COVID, brought to you by SCDHEC. In it together, the Diabetes Advisory Council, the City of Columbia Office of Business Opportunities, Agape Counseling and Training Center, and Palmetto Media Connections.
Coping with COVID with Tre Tailor.
Happy Friday. I'm Tre Tailor, and you are watching Coping with COVID, updates on the pandemic and information to help you thrive and survive COVID-19. It's Adoption Awareness Month, and we're talking about that and more with Will Batchelor with the Department of Social Services. Will, thank you so much for joining us today.
Hi, good to see you again, Tre.
Oh, good to see you. Thank you so much. Will is going to join us and talk about National Adoption Month, Adoption Day, also all of the wonderful families that he gets an opportunity to meet with and visit, and what you can do to connect you with your forever family. Plus, in the second segment, we'll talk to a woman who today is finalizing the adoption of her two beautiful children. That and more coming up next on Coping with COVID. But first, your COVID community updates. The FDA has approved COVID boosters for all adults. Now, in an effort to increase protection ahead of the holidays, the decision was made to quell confusion about who is and who is not eligible. Currently, anyone who received the Pfizer or Moderna two-shot vaccine and those who got the one-shot J&J can get additional shot of any of the vaccines to increase protection from COVID-19. Right before we went on the air, Kyle Rittenhouse was found not guilty. The teenager accused of killing two people and shooting one during unrest in Kenosha, Wisconsin last summer. Now, he was charged with 5 felonies and broke down in court after hearing the verdict. Experts say they are not surprised at the verdict of the now 18-year-old because Wisconsin's laws generally favor a defendant claiming self-defense. Now, no appeal can be submitted in this case. And 'tis the season for holiday festivities, and several events are going on in the area for kids and adults. We will scroll these hundreds of events from across the state on the bottom of the screen throughout the show. But just to mention a few: holiday lights on the river, the Junior League Holiday Market, lights before Christmas at the zoo, the Town of Lexington Snowball Festival, Christmas in Casey, the 68th Annual Carillon Holiday Parade, and this Sunday, the Governor's Tree Lighting Ceremony going on at the State House. You can visit experiencecolumbia.com for more information. SCDHEC has your most up-to-date list of times, dates, and locations for COVID testing, vaccinations for children and adults in and around South Carolina. Visit scdheck.gov for more information. Now, if you are a veteran, you can get your COVID vaccination at the VA. You can see that information on the screen. Several retailers are also offering COVID vaccinations for both adults and children, 5 through 11. Kroger pharmacies are offering COVID vaccinations. CVS is also offering COVID vaccinations, and that includes the CVSs located in Target stores. Brooklyn Baptist Church also has a vaccine clinic open 7 days a week. They are part of Lexington Medical Center. And as far as COVID tests are concerned, the Richland County Public Libraries, all locations, are offering free self-collection kits. You can get 5 of these free self-collection kits per week and test yourself to see if you have COVID-19. Now, if you are having a challenge getting to get your COVID vaccination, don't miss your shot. You can catch a free ride on the Comet bus system. Also, if you are having some challenges even making your appointment, online registration help is available at Get Set Up. Now, if you have unfortunately have lost a loved one due to COVID, FEMA is continuing to give funeral cost reimbursements. You can contact FEMA. That information is on the screen also for more information. Other financial resources are available. SC Bar Association and SC Legal Services has a toll-free number and website for rental and mortgage help. Lexington County has a bill assistance program. SC Housing and Dominion Energy has an assistance program for rent and utilities. And SC Housing has a frontline workers home buying assistance program. Also, we talked to the Fifth Circuit Solicitor's Office yesterday, and they are doing a 3-day event coming up in December. It's a warrant resolution event. You can see the information on the screen. The last time, if you had a chance to watch the show yesterday, they had some great success stories. And this time they have expanded that event. Once again, 3 days, 4 days actually, for you to stop by 2 different locations, Rehoboth Baptist Church in Northeast Columbia and near the Garners Ferry Road area, Bible Way Church of Atlas Road. You can stop by and check out all of the information for this warrant resolution event. Finally, SC Hopes has a 24-hour assistance line from the South Carolina Department of Mental Health. If you're having a challenge coping with COVID, please contact the South Carolina Department of Mental Health and utilize their SC Hopes assistance line. You're watching Coping with COVID, updates on the pandemic and information to help you thrive and survive COVID-19. We are streaming live on the TaylorMade production page. Please go over there, hit like and share and follow. Not only will you be able to get notifications when to watch Coping with COVID, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can also get all of your COVID-related updates and view past shows. We're also streaming live on YouTube. I want to say hi to all of you YouTubers. Thank you so much for watching, and please don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Now, we want you to check out the scroll at the bottom of the screen. So many great resources are available there. Some of the information that we mentioned, and also some more information about COVID vaccines, employment information, financial information. All types of resources are available. So please don't forget to post and share this information out so we can get the message to the masses. I'm Tre Tailor, and you are watching Coping with COVID. It's Adoption Awareness Month, and today we are exploring the process and opportunities for families and children in South Carolina. Will Batchelor joins us from the Department of Social Services. Will, thank you again so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Tell me kind of what is the broad overview of the adoption situation, I will say, in South Carolina. What children are in the system to be adopted? What kind of families are adopting? And kind of what's the process?
Well, Trey, I mean, it covers the broad spectrum. As Adoption Month started on November 1st, we had 168 children who were in the state's foster care system. Wow. That were currently legally free and able to be adopted. So that's where we started the month. But, there's no one demographic or anything. What we emphasize is the need for older youth. And by older youth, we're talking about kids who are ages between 10 and 17. When you're talking about adoption, a lot of people get in their mind, I'm going to get a baby, or I'm going to get a 2-year-old or a 3-year-old. What we see, the greatest need are for those kids who are about to go into their teenage years, those kids who are about to graduate high school, about to go into college or start their careers. Those are the children where we see the greatest need. They need someone who's going to be a mentor to them, someone who's going to be a role model to them, someone who's going to guide them as they're starting the process to become the leaders of tomorrow. So that's really what we like to emphasize. And, Trey, to tell you another big need, sibling groups, it's a big ask, but, we'd like to keep siblings together whenever possible. So sibling groups is a big need, medically fragile children as well. So that's where the greatest need that we see here at the Department of Social Services.
Yeah, I love that because, it's so important to make sure that our young people have that mentorship, that leadership, that guidance, so that they can be, I guess, guided, so to speak, in the right way to go, how to make the right decisions. And that older child is at such a vulnerable point in their lives, so they really need it. So you're saying that there are all types of children, older children, younger children, and all ethnicities too, right?
Right. It really depends on, you have to ask yourself, if you're considering becoming an adoptive parent, what's right for you?
Yeah.
Because what's right for this person may not be right for this person, or what's right for this family may not be right for another. You know, we appreciate anyone who has a place in their heart to open their homes, to bring someone in and say, I want you to be a part of my family. But it all depends on your situation. And we'll talk a little bit, you know, as the conversation goes on, about some of the families that I've met throughout this month. And there's some really great stories out there.
Yeah, I can't wait to do that. I want to know, though, if someone is interested in adopting, being an adoptive parent, what do they have to do first?
So step number one of our partner organizations is called Heartfelt Calling. That's where you want to start. Heartfeltcalling.org is the website. I also have a phone number that I can share with your viewers, which is 888-828-3555. I'll get that one more time. It's 888-828-3555. Heartfelt Calling is really like ground level. That's where you get started. Just to give you a brief overview, you know, it's a long process to become an adoptive parent, but just to give you an idea, you have to go through a background check. There is a central registry check. Obviously, you've got to attend training. You got to meet with an adoption specialist. There's medical forms to go through. Just like when you're applying for a job, there's references that you have to go through.
Yeah.
And you've got to meet the young person. You know, you've got to make sure that there's a connection. But Heartfelt Calling is our partner agency where you can really get going on that. And a great resource that we have at our website, which is dss.sc.gov. If you will go under the Child Wellbeing tab, which you see there, we have an entire page that's dedicated to adoption. And what you can do, you can go under, you talked about the children available for adoption, where if you go under there, you can search by gender, you can search by the number of children that you're looking for, an age range, race. You know, that's really a great resource to get started. And, you know, we also, on the exact same page, we have a little FAQ that takes you through a lot of the common questions that prospective families will ask. And, you know, if I were a prospective parent, you know, that's a great place that I would start.
Right. As you see, it's dss.sc.gov, and go to the Child Wellbeing Adoption page. We're showing it right here on the screen. And as you said, Will, it says, can I adopt an infant? I want to know more about a particular child featured. Can I meet a child? Why wouldn't I be selected a parent? I mean, these are just great questions to ask if someone were interested in going through the adoptive process. Now, you mentioned Heartfelt. When people go there, what are Heartfelt Calling? What does that Heartfelt Calling do? Is that the initial screening process?
Yeah, exactly. Yes. I mean, that takes you through the basics of everything that you need to do. Exactly.
Right. Okay. And then once they finish with that, then they what happens after that? You go to Heartfelt Calling, you go through all of that, and then what happens next?
Well, you have to go through each part of that process. And, you know, I can't give you an exact period of time, how long it takes you from day one to adoption day. You know, it really varies. I've heard stories where it takes, you know, less than a year. I've heard stories that it takes much longer. You know, they really are the ones who go through the bulk of what the hoops that you have to go through to add someone to your forever home.
Yeah. Does it cost anything to be an adoptive parent, Will?
I'm not aware of any particular, you mean like filing forms and things like that?
Yeah, anything. Yeah, like that.
I'm not aware of any, you know, exact costs or anything that's involved in that. You know, that's one of the things that the folks at Heartfelt Calling would be able to for answer for people.
Yeah. Now, after someone goes through the process and they say, okay, I want to adopt or I want to foster?
Yeah, you can. You know, it depends on what's best for you. You know, we have people who they go through years of fostering and then they're saying, you know, I'm ready to adopt. Mm-hmm. There's some that are like, I just want to foster. You know, I can't keep someone long term. Once you start that process, that's one of the things that you can discuss. And again, you go through the FAQ, and read through those questions and see, does this work for me? Does this sound like a situation that's ideal for me? But obviously, when you make that first contact, we have people that'll help you decide what's best for you, what can you manage, and what are your long-term goals.
Right. It's Adoption Awareness Month, and we're talking to Will Batchelor with DSS. I'm Tre Tailor. Hey, don't forget, at the bottom of the screen, you can see on the scroll several resources that are available, assisting you with financial assistance and things like that as far as COVID. But Will, what about resources that are provided to parents? I mean, sometimes these are first-time parents. Many times they are seasoned, parents. What resources and assistance is available for parents who want to adopt?
Sure. Well, go right back to the page that we were talking about. Under that child well-being tab, you'll find information for adoption assistance. Right. That'll give you a lot of the facts that will be able to take you through the process. And, the thing is, Tre, if you can't find the answers on that particular page, there's always a resource. Contact us. So we have a contact form if you can't find the answer that you're looking for. But, we talk about recurring costs that they have. There's reimbursement applications that you can have, non-recurring costs. So there's all kinds of assistance out there that's available. And the good thing is, we've made it really convenient. It's under that child well-being tab. You'll see that big green block right there on the right-hand side. Right, and it'll take you through the subsidies that are available. Hey, after the adoption's complete, the costs don't end, right?
Right.
So, you may have, it's not like, hey, we signed off and the child or children are yours, you're on your own. No, there's post adoption assistance as well. And you can really just go through there and you can look at the assistance that's available and see what's tailored for you and what works right for you. But those resources are all housed under that same area.
Right. As you said, it says, what is adoption assistance? It says programs to provide financial support. There is a monthly subsidy. And as you said, the non-recurring costs, it says DSS will reimburse adoptive families for legal fees and things of that sort. So if people are considering adoption, but they're concerned about the financial cost or the financial burden that it might cause, there is help. There is help. And DSS is here to provide that help. Will, tell me, and we talked a little bit about this, but you don't have to be any particular thing to adopt. You could be singles, it could be couples, anyone, any race, any sexual orientation. Is that correct?
Sure, absolutely. In going through Adoption Month, we've talked with a lot of TV stations, radio outlets, newspapers, and I've spoken with single parents. I've spoken with older couples, younger couples. As long as there's no, you can do it, you can't do it. As long as you make it through the process, you pass the background check, you do the training that you need to do. It's not limited on who can be an adoptive family and who can provide that great home. I've talked to so many people with so many diverse backgrounds, and Tre, the one thing that they all have in common is they have a place in their heart that they want to welcome someone in their family. They want to say, I want to give you my last name. I want you to be a part of my family forever. And I'm looking forward to sharing those holidays with you and sharing graduations. And I'm looking forward to seeing my grandchildren one day that you may have. It's all about the love that you have. That's the common denominator that I've seen in all the families I've spoken with.
One of the things I know that you love doing and you have a great opportunity to do is travel throughout the state and really meet some of these adoptive families. Can you tell us about that, Will?
Absolutely. Here at the Department of Social Services, we try to get the word out as best we can, and we're doing a lot of stories here in-house. And so I've traveled around the PD, the Lowcountry, the Upstate. We were just talking about a variety of stories, variety of people. A little bit later in the show, we'll be talking with Robin Cleckley, and I can't wait for your viewers to see that story. She's got a great story. She's a teacher. She's adopting a little boy and a little girl. Again, what were we talking about earlier? A sibling group, right? That's where there's a great need. I had a chance to visit with Robin, and she's just such a terrific woman, and talked about her story and what led her to adopting. She had experience in fostering, but other people may not. I talked to another couple who, they had one child, they wanted another, but unfortunately they were unable to. So they turned to adoption, and I got to spend some time with them and see just. They weren't strangers at all. The little girl came into their home and immediately they bonded. I'll give you one more example. Went and spoke with a couple in the Lowcountry. They had several biological children of their own, but they adopted 12 children, I believe.
Wow.
Now, the picture you're seeing here, this is actually our Lowcountry family of the year. What you're looking at, that is the Wiles-Wiggins family. That's a different family, but they have a great adoption story as well. They were recently just named the 2021 Lowcountry Adoptions Family of the Year. Now, this family is from Colleton County, and I'll tell you a little bit of background on this family. They adopted 8 children this year.
Wow.
They have a foster child that they're preparing to adopt. I believe their kids range from 4 to 17. They started, the husband and wife started fostering about 5 years ago. And I believe over the past year that they fostered more than 30 kids. And one of the great things about being the Lowcountry Family of the Year, the mayor came by and visited them. They did a big parade for them and did a big to-do. But they were another great family. But again, it goes into all kinds of different families, all kinds of different stories, but they all want the same thing, and that's to adopt and to increase their families and share what they have to offer.
Yeah, that is a beautiful, beautiful story. I mean, and like you said, some people can facilitate, offer a big family. Some people just want one or two. Whatever your situation is, if you want some or need some or have some additional love in your heart to share with a child, there are children available in South Carolina. If you want more information, again, we'll put those websites up. You can visit the DSS website on the Heartfelt Calling website for more information on adoption, because there are children and you can open up your heart and your home to those children. Well, thank you. Go ahead. What were we going to say?
And Trey, if I might, I just wanted to mention one more thing. A big event that we're gearing up for this Monday is Adoption Day.
Okay.
Courtrooms around South Carolina. I'm going to be on the road in Anderson County. Adoption Day, which is again coming up this Monday. We're going to have 63 children who are scheduled to be adopted by 43 families in family courts in Anderson, Charleston, Horry, and Sumter counties. And we're so excited about being able to share the pictures and the moments for when those adoptions are finalized. And, it's a really big day because, last year we had to do everything virtually. We've been coping with COVID for a long time, right?
Yes, we have.
Right. And last year was my first year here and didn't have a chance to experience that, but we're very excited that, they're again doing in-persons this year, and we're excited about Adoption Day coming up on Monday and sharing those stories.
Wow. So Adoption Day, over 60 families, over 40 children, all on
reverse there, 63 children, 43 families.
43 families. Okay. Yeah, that would have made sense. But but that's so exciting that all of that is going to happen on one day, and that's on Monday throughout the state of South Carolina. Well, that is amazing. That is such great news. Will, thank you so much for joining us. Will, he was concerned about 20 minutes. It's been 23 minutes and you survived.
Thank you.
Thank you, Will. Will Batchelor with the Department of Social Services. Don't forget, once again, if you are interested in adopting a child from the Department of Social Services, you can see the information right there on the screen. Speaking of adoption and one of those amazing families, Will mentioned it just a few minutes ago, and we're going to talk to educator Dr. Robin Cleckley coming up next, and she's going to tell you about her adoption experience and her journey to getting her 2 forever children. That's coming up next on Coping with COVID.
Hi, I'm Kimberly Aiken-Cockrum. As Miss America, I know that taking care of yourself is important. Part of taking care of your health is knowing if you're at risk of type 2 diabetes. Prediabetes is serious and puts you at risk for developing type 2 diabetes. 90% of South Carolinians who have it don't know they have it. Visit inittogethersc.org. Take an online test to find out your risk and join a diabetes prevention program. Brought to you by the Diabetes Action Council of South Carolina.
Computers, they're a part of our everyday life. But when they're not working, they're an everyday problem. So call Computers Unique, your everyday solution. 803-351-5821. Is your computer running slow? Won't turn on? Do you need a screen replaced? Or maybe you just need another computer? Well, Computers Unique is your one-stop shop for all your computer needs. They have a wide variety of new and pre-owned PCs, Macs, and tablets. So call Computers Unique, Dutch Square Mall. 803-351-5821. 803-351-5821.
Let Palmetto Painting Services take the worry out of your next home painting project. We can paint anything. Our business is about interior painting and exterior painting. We offer services for residential and commercial properties. Restore the life to your home with a fresh coat of paint from Palmetto Painting Services. References are available upon request. Give us a call at 803-546-4570 today.
The Comet gives me a reliable source of transportation.
It's very convenient to me, and they have wonderful drivers.
It's clean and it builds community. It's fun to meet people.
It makes me feel like really independent. It's just fun.
It's always going to be there and it gets me everywhere I need to go.
We try to ride every single day. Comedy is our livelihood.
Thank you for watching Coping with COVID, updates on the pandemic and information to help you thrive and survive COVID-19. We are streaming live on the Tailor Made production page. Please go over there, hit like and share and follow. Not only will you be able to get notifications as to when to watch Coping with COVID Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, but you can also get all of your COVID-related updates and see past shows. So much great information over there. We're also streaming live on YouTube. Please hit the subscribe button, and hello to all of you YouTubers. As we said, it is National Adoption Awareness Month, and we are now talking to a former educator and a young lady who has fostered children before, and now she has decided to take it a step further and adopt those children. Robin Cleckley, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you, Tre. It is great to be here. I'm super excited just to share my journey with everyone.
Oh, I'm excited too, because I mean, listen, you are an educator, so you're into kids anyway, but you know, that's a whole nother thing than to bring children into your home. Why did you decide that you wanted to be a foster parent? After dealing with kids all day.
Absolutely. And that I am fortunate, I should say, to be an educator. I've been teaching for the past 24 years, and I would not be anything else but an educator. But you are right. After dealing with those precious babies for all day long, I decided to reach out and get me a couple of my own. I have been thinking about adoption and fostering for a very, very long time. I was bit by the adoption bug years ago. My family have always included everybody and realized it takes a village to raise all children. Yeah. So in my family, we have seen the adoption light and what powerful ways children can impact lives of your family in ways that you can't even imagine. So this is nothing that is unheard of in my family. This was not just a temporary thing. I knew by the time I was maybe 30 that I wanted to do this. I wanted to reach out and help everyone. And like you said, I love children. So when the opportunity presented itself, I jumped on the bandwagon, did the necessary things through DSS, and look at me now.
Yeah, you know, I love that you say that it was in your family, because I do think there are so many families who, if a family member or somebody from the neighborhood has a child in need, you don't think twice. You just bring that child on into your home, not even thinking, how am I going to take care of them? Do I have the financial resource? You know what I'm saying? So I just think, you know, so many families are nurturers, and there was not a name for it. You know, I've recently been involved in the kinship care process. So, I mean, I hear what you're saying and I really understand it. So you said, you know, you're familiar with it anyway. You hit 30 and you're thinking, I don't have any children.
Yeah.
So maybe, you know, I want to adopt. So how did you decide to do fostering first?
Well, I'd been talking about it with some friends. I have lots of friends that work with the Department of Social Services,
Okay.
and they presented that idea to me. Have you thought about fostering? Have you thought about looking into that avenue? And at the time I had not, but after listening to them and hearing their stories, I said, why not? There's so many children here, so many children right in South Carolina that need a loving home, that want a loving home. I wanted loving children. So I reached out to the process. You hear stories on both sides, but believe it or not, Trey, I had a wonderful experience with DSS. There was a lot of paperwork. You do have to do the requirements, but at the end of the journey, you get a prize that no one could repay.
Yeah, we're talking to Dr. Robin Cleckley on this National Adoption Awareness Month, and she is talking about her own personal adoption process. She started out fostering. Tell me about the children that you fostered and how many times you went through that.
So believe it or not, the first and the ladies, my caseworkers at DSS told me immediately, as soon as you get your foster license, don't be surprised if you don't get a phone call that night. Well, sure enough, it didn't happen that night, but the very next night I received a phone call and was blessed enough to foster a set of twins. Now just think, I'm no longer in my 30s, but a brand new baby straight from the hospital.
Oh my goodness, really?
So I got to foster them and they were a blessing. And after they were able to return home, so that's fabulous.
So
Would you believe it?
How long did you have those babies?
The first babies I had maybe 4 to 5 months, not super long.
Okay.
But I got the taste of motherhood in a new light with newborn babies, waking up feedings, diaper changes, all of those wonderful things. So I got the opportunity for that. And then when they left, 2 weeks later, I got another phone call, and yes, twins again. Now that was not in my future. I didn't go sign up saying, "Oh, I only want twins." But that's what happened. God gives you what you need in an abundance that goes with it.
You better say it. Yeah, yeah.
So after the second set of twins,
and how long did you keep those babies?
I kept those about 6 months, and once again, newborn, straight from the hospital.
Wow, wow, that's interesting.
So I started the process over.
Yeah,
so
you really trial by fire.
Yes, and then maybe 2 weeks after they were returned to their biological families, which is wonderful. That's the goal. I was presented with once again, not twins, but close enough to be twins. Right. Then I met my babies who were ready to be adopted. They walked in the journey with me as we are ready to be adopted. It was no longer a fostering type situation. So they presented me with an opportunity for a long-term adoption.
So did DSS call you back and say, okay, we've got these siblings, 4 and 5 year old. I guess they were 3 and 4 at the time. Yeah, well, you got them. And they said, well, what did they say? This is not a forced situation.
It's always amazes me. They called me. My babies are not from Richland County. Okay. They were in Florence. And my caseworker, because I was a fostering parent, and I was like an adoptive parent. If a situation became available, I wanted to be considered.
And
so I was on both sides.
Yeah, so I was going to ask you that. So going in, you said, I'll be glad to foster, but I really want to adopt.
Yes.
Okay.
So I had it on both sides. And then, God lines everything up for you. My caseworker on the adoptive side was good friends with the caseworker that my baby's in Florence. And she was looking for a family who wanted to set up 2. They were meeting families who wanted one or the other, but not 2.
Right.
So that's how I met them. It was just stroke of genius. I met them because they weren't, like I said, they weren't Richland County babies. Yeah.
So you had the children for what, about a little over a year?
Well, not really. I got them April 2021. It hasn't even been a year yet.
Okay.
So not super long. No.
Yeah. And then you started then. So as soon as they placed them, did you start going through the adoptive process, or do you go through before you get them?
Well, they came, like I met them one day with their caseworker just to like a visit. We went out to lunch, we hung out, did some fun things, and they went back. The second time, They came for like a weekend visit, and we hung out, had get to know each other. And then the third time we had a discussion. I wanted them to feel a part of the journey. I wanted them to be able. I know they're only 3 and 4, but the 4-year-old, she understood a little bit better. Not that she understands everything, of course, but she understood. And we decided, hey, it was still a fostering, but you could stay here and we can work through it and see if we want to move towards adoption. And that's what we did. And by the time July rolled around, we knew that this was definitely something we wanted to do.
Now, what was going on in your mind, in your heart, and even with your interaction with the children that made you know, okay, this is the right thing for these children and me?
Absolutely. The first meeting was it wasn't like we were meeting strangers. They immediately, attached to me. We hung out, we took pictures. They began talking about, well, what are we going to do when we come back? Well, is this going to be my room? Well, you know what? I really want to stay over here. They started, I let them lead because if they have to feel comfortable in your presence as well.
Yeah.
So I let them lead me to see what was going on. By the third visit, the second visit, I remember Madison said to me, can I bring my toys on the next visit? So I was like, oh, sure, bring some toys. And then she came back and said, well, can I bring my clothes? I was like,
oh, wow,
well,
Robin.
Yes, you can bring your clothes. And then she finally said, well, can I bring all of my clothes and not go back?
Robin,
so
I've got goosebumps, girl. Really?
She is a sweet. So
and that's the 4-year-old.
That's the 4-year-old. Now the little boy, he's just happy-go-lucky. If y'all gonna stay, okay.
Yeah.
But she started asking those questions. So she led me. I knew it immediately, but I wanted them to feel like this was their home. But I'll never forget their caseworker said when they left the first night, she leaned over to her and said, I met my forever mommy. Don't you worry. I'm going to stay with her forever. And she said, talking to her, how do you know that's your forever mommy? She said, because God told me so.
Really,
and that baby was 4, and she said, this is it. She said, when we pulled up to your house, she said, this is it. This is the house I dreamed of. And let's believe it, I don't have this big giant house tray. She just said, this is the house I dreamed of. So she melted our hearts. But I knew it when I met them as well. But I wanted them, like I said, to feel welcome. I wanted them to feel the love that not only I had, but my extended family. This is something we have all prayed for.
Yeah.
So we are super excited.
Yeah, we're talking to Robin Cleckley. She is in the process of adopting siblings, 3 and 4 and 5-year-old now, siblings that she's had in her homes since April. But this after fostering 2 sets of twin infants. So, Robin, how has the adjustment been as far as childcare? Taking them to school, I know for me, and I'm just saying, like I said, I'm dealing with a kinship care situation, and my biggest challenge has been childcare because I was not set up for that. And Absolutely. I'm not talking about, because they can go to school, but I mean somebody to keep them if I've got to work late or something like that. How have you kind of navigated through some of those challenges that maybe you were not set up for?
Absolutely. Like you said, they are school age, but just the basic, I need to run to the grocery store right quick. Who's going to keep the baby? But my mom and my family are wonderful. But you're right. I've been single, when your time is like your time, and you delegate it as you wish.
Yeah. And your friends are probably not set up for that either. I know mine were.
No.
Yeah.
Their babies are no longer babies.
Right.
So not that they don't jump in and help as much as they can, but you are right. The childcare was something I had to learn to juggle. I had to learn to, schedule my time around their activities because I do want to get them involved in social activities. I do want them to be able to do different things outside of the home. But that is a challenge, but a challenge that I welcome. I have now learned that if it can't happen before 7:30, Robin, it's probably not going to happen today. I've learned that it's okay to go to bed at 9 o'clock. I was a night owl. I would stay up all night. I didn't have to work.
Me too.
But now I crawl up in my bed at 9:30 and put my head down and go on to sleep and have no problem sleeping.
Because you're tired.
I'm tired, yes.
Yeah, but it's a beautiful thing. What would you say to someone who maybe is single, doesn't have children? You know, there are so many, loves children, want to bring somebody else into their home. What have you learned through this process that you can share with someone else?
I tell you what I've truly have learned, and that I'm stronger than what I thought I was. There are times, especially when I have the infants, that I stayed up all night and still had to get up and go to work. I was able to function. My babies now have taught me that I can be a mom full time and still work. That was my biggest thing. And I'm going to be able to work full time and be a full time mom. Now, yes, our schedules are tight. Yes, there are some days that we don't get everything done, but they empower me to do better. Being single, I used to think, well, how am I going to do this by myself? But we're doing it. And I mean, we're not maybe top at the notch yet. We're still learning, but we are working through it. So I encourage anybody who's single and thinking of wanting to adopt or foster children, please take that step. It is a rewarding experience. I cannot tell you how much I've enjoyed all of the children that have come through this house, and they have each taught me something. The first set of twins, little boy got really, really sick and spent half of his time with me in the hospital. That taught me courage, and that taught me strength, and that taught me that you can survive anything. Maddie and Genesis have come with their own set of concerns, and they've taught me to slow down and enjoy life for what it is.
Yeah. We're talking to Robin Cleckley on this Adoption Awareness Month, and she is going through the process of adoption right now. She's started fostering a 4 and 5-year-old, and decided, really the children decided for her that they were the ones that were going to be the ones that she adopts. So how much longer do you have to go through your process?
Tomorrow morning, 8 hours.
Oh,
tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. It's official. So we have our clothes laid out. We got our special clothes already. We are waiting. Madison told her teacher today, don't look for her tomorrow. She gets to meet the lady who wears that long black robe and carries the gavel.
The judge, yeah.
She gets to meet her. And her name will be Forever Cleckley, just like her mommy's. Now that makes me cry when she says that.
Oh,
it'll be Forever Cleckley, just like her mommy's. So that is tomorrow morning. So we are on our way.
Yeah. So what does that process look like? You go before the judge, and I guess you just have to sign papers and all of that.
Yes, you sign paperwork. I spent my time with my attorney the other day signing all the paperwork. They ask you a series of questions. She explained to me when we actually get to the hearing. She says it's only maybe 10, 15 minutes tops. So it's not a very lengthy process, but a very exciting one. So we're just ready.
And what happens after that? Do you take the kids somewhere special? What are you going to do tomorrow?
Yes, we are going somewhere special. We're going to, of course, go hang out and eat dinner. My mom, now that the world is somewhat opening back up, we are able to go in person. Before that, they were doing them virtually, but now we can go to the courthouse and we can invite family members. So it's a crew of us going. So after we leave there, we'll probably go get a bite to eat. This weekend, when Saturday and Sunday rolls around, they don't know. We're going on a special vacation just to hang out, just to have fun, and just to continue. As I told them, I don't know, we will all have the same last name, but the love will still be the same. You know, they've been mine since I've met them. Yeah. So we're coming back. They keep saying, well, what are we going to do next? What house are we going? No, baby, we're coming back to the same house. So everything we still getting up on Monday and after Thanksgiving and going back to school. Yes.
Right. So Robin, you've got, as of tomorrow, you will legally have your 2 babies. Any more adoptions or fostering in your future?
I do want to continue. I want one more. They speak a lot. This is how I know you get the right people for you. They came in speaking, hey, I want a brother, I want a sister. I said, yeah, okay, whatever. But I've always said 3 was my limit, and then I will close my file with DSS. So we'll see what happens. I'm going to leave it open. It's like I definitely want, but it's something that I will not discourage if it happens.
Right. So do you want another adoptive child, or do you want another foster?
Another adoption child.
Okay.
But I wouldn't mind fostering too. I mean, if you experience it, it's hard to say no.
Yeah.
To so many children that need love and caring families.
Yeah, that's great. What about someone from a different race? Just wondering how you feel about that. Would you, and I don't know if these children are African American, but are you open to that either?
Yes, I went in with open to that, a biracial, African American, Hispanic. It did not matter. It didn't matter. Now, you typically, I was blessed. Everybody that I've met was African American, but I am open to all races. I believe that the world is a beautiful place, and it starts at home with acceptance, and we can all live in harmony.
Awesome. Robin, this is an amazing story, and this is just so beautiful. I mean, I love that your daughter, Madison, she knew. I mean, children are so amazing. And like I said, I've got a 3 and a 5-year-old downstairs, hopefully asleep. So,
me and you, I'm hoping that.
So I understand just the purity and the beauty of children. Just to tell you a quick story, Julius, the 5-year-old, I had to take him somewhere because I was working on election night, and I just told him, I said, well, you're going to go over here. And he said, well, what do you have to do, Tutu? That's what they call me. I said, well, I've got to work the election. And he's been fascinated with the election because I don't know if you know, there's a female mayor on Paw Patrol. So,
oh yeah, Mara.
Good wine, girl.
Yes, sir. Isn't that we know exactly who you're talking about,
girl. So I said, oh yeah, Tutu, you need to go do that because that's important. So the children, I get what you're saying, and I just like you, encourage anyone if you ever thought about it. If you're married, it doesn't matter. If you're however old you are, just if you have love in your heart, like you said, Robin, because there are so many children that need the love that you have to give. And it is a different kind of love. I know I can hear from you, that they've taught you some things. Well, tell me, as we wrap up the conversation, what have you learned from these babies? Because I know I learn every day from these.
Absolutely. They have definitely taught me patience.
Yes.
Whereas we're getting ready and going to school, I could get myself ready in 35 minutes and walk out the door. We've learned that you can wake up at 5:30. I can do that and be okay. They've definitely taught me that. They've taught me unconditional love.
Unconditional love.
On some of my hardest days, they still say, "Oh, I love you, mommy." They are. Genesis told me the other day, and I fell out laughing. I mean, I came out of the room. I had on like my pajamas. I had my hair not going everywhere. He said, "Oh my goodness, you look amazing." Oh, thank you.
Right.
So that type of just joy in their heart, they wake up with joy every morning. How could you not give that back to them?
Yeah.
So they've definitely taught me that.
Well, Robin, good luck to you. God bless. We got to get the kids together. I would love to get the children together because you've got a boy and a girl. I've got a boy and a girl too.
They will have a ball.
Yes. Well, again, good luck to you. God bless. I'm believing God to continue to bless you with another foster, another adoptive child, just the right person, just like Madison and Genesis were
Thank
to
you.
you.
Thank you.
Any last advice for anyone who may be thinking about it? What
I
they
will tell
need to
them,
be doing?
take the step, reach out to the DSS office, fill out the paperwork. It's a lot. There are lots of pages, but it is so worth it. It is so worth it. And it did not take, as people would say, it takes years and years. It did not take years and years. Once I initially started the process, it did not take years. There were times I would stop and I would start and I would stop and I would start. But once you start it and continue and follow through, I mean, from the time I got licensed until the time I've got to this point, it's been 2 years. And look at all the children I've met.
Yeah.
So I don't feel like it's been forever. I felt like this was the journey that I was meant to take. So I'm thankful.
All right. That's Dr. Robin Cleckley, who just is getting ready to, in 24 hours, be official with her 4- and 5-year-old after fostering 2 sets of twin infants. As she said, if you are interested in adoption or in foster care, please contact us. We heard earlier the Department of Social Services for more information. Robin, thank you so much again. Good luck to you and God bless.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
All right, what a wonderful story with Robin Cleckley and her adoptive children. Hey, want to shout out Mitchell Peace Joy Jen. Thank you also Tisha Marie Johnson, ladies, for watching and for your comments. Please post and share this information out. It is National Adoption Awareness Month, and you may know someone that has time and energy, because it takes energy and love in their heart to share, and they've been thinking about adoption or fostering. This is a great time to do just that. Contact the Department of Social Services and then Heartfelt Calling for more information. Listen, if you have a story or initiative that could help someone cope with COVID, please email booking@copingwithtretailor.com. Booking@copingwithtretailor.com. That email is scrolling at the bottom of the screen. If you have a product or service that could help someone cope with COVID, please email copingwithtretailor@gmail.com. copingwithtretailor@gmail.com. We would love for you to be a proud sponsor, just like SCDHEC, In It Together, and the Diabetes Action Council. They sponsor Wellness Wednesday every Wednesday here on Coping with COVID. Our other sponsors include Javis Tax Services, the City of Columbia Office of Business Opportunities, Palmetto Media Connections, the Fifth Circuit Solicitor's Office, Attorney Byron Gibson, Agape Counseling and Training Services, the Comet Bus System, also Computers Unique Dutch Square Mall, and Black Pages Black Expo. Now, coming up next week, we've got a bunch of different stories. We're going to talk about the Great American Smokeout. It's a great time right now to be preparing for your New Year's resolutions. Holiday cooking with Chef Judy Etheridge. Also, an amazing story about a local veteran, an author that just recently wrote a book about the spiritual implication of COVID, that and so much more coming up next week on Coping with COVID. As usual, we leave you with a reading from Jesus Calling. And today on November, 19th, Jesus says, leave outcomes up to me. Mind your business, Jesus is saying. I said that. Jesus didn't say that, but that's what he meant. Wherever I lead, follow me, without worrying about how it will all turn out. Think of your life as an adventure with me as your guide and companion. Live in the now, concentrating on staying in step with me. When our path leads to a cliff, be willing to climb it with my help. When our path leads to a resting place, take time to be refreshed by my presence. Enjoy the rhythm of life. Live close to me. You already know the ultimate destination of your journey, your entrance into heaven. So keep your focus on the path just before you, leaving outcomes up to me. That's your Jesus Calling for today, Friday, November 19th. Jesus says, mind your business and let him take care of everything. Listen, I hope you have a wonderful weekend. Thank you so much for watching as usual. Until the next time, I wish you peace and abundant blessings. Stay well, stay careful. Please get your vaccine and don't forget to wear your mask over your nose and under your chin. I'll see you soon.
Coping with COVID. Updates on the pandemic and information to help you thrive and survive COVID-19. It's brought to you by the South Carolina Department of Health and Environmental Control. Visit scdheck.gov for an updated list of testing sites and important information on how to protect yourself, your family, and friends from the coronavirus. SCDHEC. Healthy people, healthy communities. In it together and the South Carolina Diabetes Advisory Council, presenting Wellness Wednesday every Wednesday on Coping with COVID. The City of Columbia Office of Business Opportunities, helping to meet the needs of small, minority, and women-owned businesses in the City of Columbia. Log on to columbiasc.net/OBO. Agape Counseling and Training Services. Call 803-779-2777 for licensed professionals of counselors and social workers helping families, engaged and married couples, and individuals of all ages gain an understanding of all aspects of their lives. If you're having a challenge coping with COVID, contact Agape Counseling and Training Services at agapects.com. And Palmetto Media Connections, connecting media and communities together. Coping with COVID, brought to you by SCDHEC. In it together, the Diabetes Advisory Council, the City of Columbia Office of Business Opportunities, Agape Counseling and Training Center, and Palmetto Media Connections.
Coping with COVID.